Welcome to another episode of the PGTK podcast, an interview podcast. My name is Emmanuel, but first of all, I pose a question before I share this new series that was hinted on the last episode is about. What does Maxwell Jacob Friedman, Max Caster, and Chris Statlander have in common? Now, of course, the first thing that comes to mind is that they are part of AEW's illustrious roster, but also they trained under the same wrestling school, which is at Creative Pro Wrestling in Long Island, New York. In this new series called Crash Course, we're getting to know the different trainers, coaches, and students who are being highlighted on this wrestling academy, and that is at New Texas Pro Wrestling. And on our first episode, we have the head trainer at New Texas, JJ Blake. We talk about how he got his start being trained and how he's passing on all the knowledge that he's had over the years to a younger generation of wrestlers who are still trying to figure out the wrestling grind. And you can follow this podcast on all of our platforms, and you can leave a 5-star rating and review. But most importantly, let's share this episode to 2 people so that they can enjoy along with us. And of course, one more programming note, the YouTube channel now has a video format. So if you would like to listen on the video side of things, you can swing by there. Of course, you can still listen to the audio portions on Spotify and iHeartRadio. And without further ado, here is our conversation with JJ Blake. Thank you so much for swinging by Crash Course, JJ Blake. How are you?
I'm doing better now. I'm doing better now.
We'll put context in the outro. We'll see how that goes. But otherwise, so like, where did you start training when you wrestled?
So I started training in Virginia. So Vanguard Championship Wrestling is where I started at originally, with my trainers Crotch and Chris Escobar. It was a good time. Very long time ago, but a good time.
And like, especially with the training that you got, like, what was the advice that they imparted you when you started learning the ropes in the ring?
Yes, I was super fortunate because at that time we had a lot of veterans come around, and that term gets tossed around very loosely sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, this guy's been here for 80 years. He's a veteran. But I actually was blessed to actually have veterans around, and they were helpful. They actually wanted to help us and make us better. So Phil Brown is definitely one of them. Damian Wayne, Preston Quinn, TQ, Bat Cusick, Mike Booth. They would all stop me randomly, and they they knew the game. They knew it. They knew it. You know, backwards and forwards and stuff. And you know, some of the best stuff they ever said was "slow down." That was a big one, and that's the trope. And it's said constantly, but slow down was definitely one of the main things they would say. But that was because we all were bouncing off the walls and stuff. So they did fair.
And like, when you mentioned trope, like, what does that mean when you started to learn, learning how to train in the wrestling ring?
So as we're figuring this thing out, sometimes people will hear a phrase and just repeat it, and they'll just say that, and it's actually kind of a telltale sign if you have trainers that just kind of say a phrase, or someone gives you feedback and they just say like, slow down. Well, I've heard that a lot. Oh, thank you, sir. It's like, hey man, explain what slow down means. Explain that. Get more detail with that, because a lot of us will pick up, and it's sometimes it's parroted, which is really good because you have younger guys that don't know any better yet, and when you tell them, they don't necessarily understand what you mean. Even if you do know what it means and you have properly impacted, doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna properly impact it. So if you just say slow down, then it's just, okay, we hear that all the time. Work the crowd. Okay, we hear that all the time. But what does that actually mean? And I could probably go down the whole list, but you get the point. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially because like a lot of I mean everyone's a student in life, and everyone picks things up very differently. And
Yeah.
when was that moment where you're starting to learn and adapt better in the ring with those tropes that your mentors have given you?
So there's a couple times. I mean, I'm always surprisingly still learning. And I say surprisingly because it's nice. It's a nice, pleasant, like, oh, huh, what, wow, who would have figured that? So it's kind of cool, which is great. When you have trainers that are still wrestling, and pushing themselves. But 2010, that's when I kind of started figuring out like character work. So the whole work the crowd thing that I just mentioned, like that's something where you have to know how to interact with people. And who are you as a performer? Like, what do people look when they look at you? What are they thinking? What is going through their mind? So if you're just saying, "Hey, my name is so and so," and freaking, my name is you know, ah,
J.
Eric
Jonah
Killmonger.
Jameson, I don't know.
No, Eric
J.
Killmonger.
Jonah
I'm not
Jameson.
close right in front of me.
Right.
My name's Eric Killmonger. Okay, cool. So what's Eric Killmonger about you? I need kids. Okay. All right, cool. It's like you gotta build that up. And I was just happening to just kind of come in. Luckily, unfortunately, I was not coming in my own because I've always had like my favorite thing about wrestling is always the showmanship and playing the role that you're supposed to be playing a role. The Blake that's backstage should not be the same Blake that's out in the ring, flat out. And I started picking up on that. Pretty soon. I'm glad we're on the subject because I remember now I went to a Comic Con in Canada and Bret Hart was there and he was running a seminar. Yes, yeah, cool. Yeah, I forget a
Okay.
lot of stories. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm glad I remembered it this time. Bret Hart, he did a seminar and there were several matches and I remember he was watching my match. And again, this is just me just kind of figuring it out. My work back, not good, but I'm learning, give me a break, right? I remember powerbombing a person. I remember that your head jumped up and I
Okay.
powerbomb. And I was facing Brett when it happened. And I didn't know anything about camera work or working. I kind of knew, but not really knew. And I remember, we're just kind of sitting there, kind of just like, bless his heart. It was a rough day with the wrestling at times. And he just, in my play, he lit up. And I was just like, oh, okay. And the whole time he straightened up and he was like focused on me. And my
Oh
brother had
no.
his match. Yeah, right. And my brother had my match right after me, and I'm saying to him, I was watching his body language, and he's kind of like, what am I looking at right now? Oh, and then he perked up again, and so yeah, just keep going, keep working. Like I like what I saw. Like he really soft spoken,
Okay.
and I'm just like, he's messing with me. He's There's no way that this man is actually serious right now. Oh, and the rest of the weekend, he just kept on stopping me and kept on telling me repeatedly, "Don't quit, quit, don't ever quit." And I was just like, all right, yes, sir. No, I promise. So yeah, people are coming side eyeing us because the Canadians, that's their hero, and they were like, Brett's over here, USA, USA. I'm like, that's not the '90s Brett I remember. Yeah, that's not the 1995 Brett, 1996 Brett that I remember. Canadian flag. I'm sick of you American. So it was funny. Yeah, it was so funny, but yes, I was just leaning into like character work, and like it went after the sequence of happened. I just remember like, I think I made a face. I think it was just after the way I finished it or whatever, and then the whole week I was really big on just like being larger than life. And I wasn't a really large person back then. No, I've been on a lot of weight since then, hitting that jump, but doing the character work properly and bringing them in the ring with you is super important. And then 2013. I'll make a flash reference. I started learning about tapping in the speed force, if that makes sense. So basically, you got Flash running around at the speed of light, and oh, this old lady's about to get hit by a bus. Let me just take her up and slide and move to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, someone's dropping their hot dog. Let me tip it back up and put it back in their hand. Whatever. Like
Right.
the little girl with ice cream, she's licking my ice cream cone. The ice cream fell. I stop, I take the cone and catch it and get it back in her hand. So the way
Aw.
that translates to wrestling itself, it's like is being in the moment. I gotta go out there, I gotta do my stuff, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Yes, you do, but no, don't be so laser focused on it. Don't be laser focused on it. Be able to be in that moment, but also aware of everything going on around you. And that helps with the first point I brought up about work, about crowd work and character work. Because if you do something that's really cool and really awesome, and you hear a lady in the front row go, "Oh, that was so smooth," and you're a good guy, and you pop up and you just look at her, or give her a wink or something like that, she's gonna be like, "Oh my God, you winked at me." And you just brought her in the ring with you. So it's like, and that's just like, just, you got to be able to really be in the moment and not ignore the rest of the moments, because it helps you as just an entertainer. You got to be entertaining. You can't become an attraction if you can't entertain. And if you can't entertain, then like, what are we doing out here? We're just doing moves and what is the joke? We're just buff theater kids at this point, just walk around with
Okay.
like,
Right.
with each other for no reason. Then now I'm still learning stuff. Uh, uh, when it comes to the slow down thing, it's like, how do you slow down? What slow down? How? When do you slow down? Slow down. When we talk about slowing down, you have to figure out how to make it make sense to the person you're saying it to. And when you're able to do that, slow things down, even actually the intricacies of what we do and the movements and all that fun stuff. And now I've been really big on, not even now, but the past few years, I've been real big on breaking down movements and breaking down sequences and breaking down like how it's structured and the emotional reaction attached to it and how they're moving and how smooth they are and how just like, what makes this elbow bigger than this elbow kind of thing. And because I have a degree in kinesiology, body exercise science, kinesiology, and that's the study of the body. So that kind of stuff really makes you go, "Oh, that's really cool." So people come up to me talking about, "I want to do this move." I'm like, "Well, let's give you an example. Let's see what's up, and we structure it." But my mind has just gotten more seasoned as years have gone on. So it's just like I'm always learning some stuff. But like the way we move, and slowing down and what that actually means, being a character and entertaining people and learning how to entertain the people, those are all big things. And they can be summed up as slow down or work the crowd. Or you can work on your punches, when it's like, well, okay, duh, what else? What else, dummy? Like, tell me everything. Tell me all the stuff I need to know. So we gotta really do that with the next generation. We really gotta teach them and know how to teach them, not just pass along something that was said to us one time 5 years ago by by whoever they heard it from. Yeah.
So, moving on to like the next question I wanted to ask too, like while you're training students over at New Texas, working alongside Houston Wrestling Academy,
Yes.
what was that dynamic like as someone who's taking in all the advice that you've got over the past few years and passing that knowledge on to that newer generation? Because we talked about that before, where you are establishing this newer generation of wrestlers. Like, what was that dynamic like?
Oh man. Recently, the last maybe check or so actually. During the TLC match, actually, I looked around. I looked around at a few people near me, and I went, "Huh, we're the adults in the room now, huh?" It's a yeah, yeah. It's a perspective shift. It's a perspective shift. You know, doing going from like, okay, this is what I learned, to teaching it now. It's I started doing it, getting my chops of training really, really down, back in 2015 when I first moved here. I basically had a pilot program, so to speak, to learn the way I teach and to learn more about myself. It's a learning it's a learning experience because I'm learning about myself and learning how to get the information from in here out to them in the most effective way possible. And being cognizant and open, trying to make sure that the information is being delivered concisely, effectively, and most of all in a usable format. It challenges me to actually don't just say, "Hey, that's crap, fix it," or whatever.
Right.
And it's funny because we'll joke around in training and say that, like Bulldog Walker. He's one of the trainers. He works for, he's my partner, really. And he will, like he says running joke now, pretty, and it's like you laugh about it because he has a deep voice and we'll look at him and wait for the punchline. But it's like anyone can do that. Anyone can say that doesn't look good, but why does it look good, and how are we going to set you up in the future to know when you're making that mistake? And that's what I've really kind of drilled into and really tapped in on and locked in on is getting these guys able to solve their problems and think of solutions. Because this way I don't have to give them fish. They can fish for themselves. I'm going to give them fish, like of course, and give them fish. But when they start learning to fish for themselves, I can go catch bigger fish and work on getting bigger fish and giving it to them. And then teaching them how to catch the bigger fish. So it's just been like the perspective of like, how was I giving this information and how did it take me to decipher this information and how many moments across all these years did it take me to get to the point I'm at now, and how do I crush it together like I have a time stone, put in the thing, and concise. Because the thing is, these guys they're basically like 2 years in the business, and they're better than I was at 10 years. And they're learning stuff already that I knew in 10 years. So I'm very big on that. Anything I don't know. And then another thing I want to put this in there too, like the temperament, like how I take things, criticism or compliments or being self-aware. Self-awareness is a superpower in pro wrestling. It's a superpower. Unfortunately, we're so subjective that you can literally be standing in the room with your mother, have someone walk in, slap your mother, and then someone will go, "Yeah, Blake deserved it. Blake, I mean, you should have seen the way Blake. You should have seen what Blake did before that." And if people like that person, they'll go, "Oh yeah, that's clearly what happened." And I've even experienced this recently. Like you would just go, "Oh, that must be what happened." So it's not good that we're like this sometimes because anything can be good as long as enough people agree about it. So we got to make sure we stay base, and we stay low and self-aware with what we're doing. Is it good? Should we do it? Not can we do it? Should we do it? Just being aware of what should we do better, how it can grow, and then growing. And I see a lot of these younger guys, and it kills me because I want, if we all do well, if this whole entire city does well, everyone's gonna. We want to go to Houston. If the whole state of Texas does well, it's so large. There's schools out there that they can all put talent and stuff, and I root for them. I'm like, yeah, do it. Kill it out there. In San Antonio, in Dallas, in Austin, in College Station, and I don't know much about West Texas, but I know there's some stuff out there. I want us all to do well. Because we all do better. We all eat good. A high tide raises all oats, stuff like that. So we got to get that energy together. So just being self-aware of myself, and then when my kids they want to go learn something, they want to go train at a different school. Can we go to the school? Yeah, go. Tell me exactly what y'all do. I want to know, what did y'all learn? I'm not gonna tell me what I might have missed. That person told you. So A, we can share this person's information like a hive mind, and B, because that makes me better. So I'm self-aware that I don't know everything.
Exactly. It's you. It's like that old saying with the point, like you point at someone, there's 3 other fingers pointing back at you. So that's
that's a good one. So this being self-aware, I'm gonna put it right there too. being self-aware. That's the biggest takeaway from their question is being self-aware because I don't know everything. And people who act like they know everything, they're really damaging their people or that they pretend to know everything so that the people stay and they stick around. No, bro, you're just keeping them, you're just keeping them for job. The job, my job as a trainer is sacred to me. They're trusting me with their dream. And it's sacred to me. And, dude, man, man, the big old puffy, soft gloves, and I got a big old hazmat suit on, and I make sure I'm carrying the dream, making sure that that dream is being cultivated, it's being grown, take the water, take the sunlight. I can't control the sunlight, you know. All we have to do is plant the seed and hope even through the rain, sunshine, the drought, snow. I hope it still grows, but I can do everything I can to keep it protected while it's growing. And that just ties into me being self-aware of what I'm doing and making sure that they can do the best they absolutely can with all the knowledge I'm giving them in a way that they can use it and think for themselves with. That's the goal.
And it's interesting because like now we're seeing that, and it happened at Battle Wars. And I've had a lot of the Austin wrestlers I have on the podcast. On the Houston side of things, what makes Battle Wars such a special thing for not only with Inspire and New Texas, but basically all of Texas wrestling?
We have two of the biggest companies in Texas working together. Number one, we're beefing, but we're working together. Showing everyone that can be done, showing everyone that everybody wins. So from a state level, it's just there's no walls. There's no walls. We make it like I mean, it's just we're all in this boat together. We all gotta make it, you know, make it through. And then from a New Texas side specifically, so I'm the first champion New Texas. I don't know if people know that or not.
We do now.
All of our champions, yeah, no, I'm the first New Texas pro champion. You know, and it's funny. I make this joke where I say I'm the only New Texas champion and not do anything because he got Mysterious Q. When he won the strap, he started going everywhere, all over the country and stuff, and blah blah blah. I hope his recovery's going well. He's been working hard with his physical therapist. So you know, Jim. BK, you know, he signed.
Yes.
You know, there's enough said about that. And that man grinded in private in the darkness for years. When I first met him in 2015, down at Reality Wrestling, and I've trained with that man. And I've wrestled that. Oh yeah, I forgot. I've wrestled that man. I remember. I called him a seashell. Yeah, I remember. I said, Brian Keith, you're nothing. You're nothing. You're just a seashell on the seashore. And I have to say so carefully to not mess the words up because it was like that little tongue twister. But no, like, dude, I mean, that man is wrestling so many flea markets and so many drives, wrestling twice in a day, and trained so hard at local places in Houston. I think he trained like Texas All Star too. While he was training at Row. I mean, I hope he gets a documentary one day because it would be a hell of a documentary. Showing his drive and his passion, and he did everything he did. He earned it himself with his own hard work. Like, bro, he earned it. Like, man, when the hat came out, I was like, oh, okay, it's done. It's done. It's done. I remember when I think he had a different hat, a smaller hat at one time. But like, yeah, but he's that first champion. And then you have Stephen Wolf. Enough said. He just got back from Germany and England. Enough said. And it's just taking off for him from there. Like, my man's been killing it. And then the women's champions, I think I could say the same thing for Roxanne, because she was grinding it out, like finding it out, and working hard. And then she came around. And then you got Kylie Ray, who's Kylie Ray. Like, it's like every one of our champions have like gone and do great things. And the point, where I'm moving this towards is, I had started with, except for me, because out loud in the lights, I'm not doing all which stuff, I'm just chilling. This New Texas thing, the guys that were involved in this, they're all new. They're all hand grown. The seeds have been planted around. We cultivated it. We got a great team with the trainers. Like, I mean, like I said, Bulldogs, my partner, Hyon, she comes through and helps out. He comes through and helps out. Diego de la Cruz, our Lone Star champion, he comes through, he helps out. And then there's other people that just come drop in randomly, and I always welcome them. I'm like, yes, please come through. I not only trained that entire crowd of people, because I've trained a bunch of people before, and
Right.
people, if you know, you know, but if you don't know, you don't know. But I can go through a whole list of names of people that I trained that people go, oh wow, really, you did that? I'm like, oh yeah, no, yeah, Johnny Bedlam, yeah, that's my guy. Tommy Bolton, yeah, that's my guy too. Oh yeah, Clay Roberts, yeah, right here. Oh yeah, AQA Angela, yeah, let's get it. Let's try. I get all that stuff, but like all that is this is all modeled up. People, just the conversation around it. You got to just talk to someone to know. But this has been something that we did it, and then we went bam out in front of everyone, in front of the world. I put the picture on my Instagram, and I made every word of it. Like we're we're like the X-Men at this point. I got all my mutants and stuff like that.
Right.
We grow together, we fight together, we shine together. And we jumping together. That's out of the X-Men playbook. Jumping people. Yeah, that's what the X-Men do. Let's be real about it. Okay. They do not fight one-on-one. They're like, nope, squad. But they've been working so hard for the last 2 years. And all those guys out there are the new fresh talent. They just got started. They're just they're shaking the world up because they've been just popping off all these different companies in the state, in the area. And we've been gone to Chicago, we've gone to Florida a few times, and we got some stuff coming up. Like we're gonna be traveling some more, a lot more around Texas, staying out of the state, like together as a squad. We're getting the X check, we're taking off. And all that is because they work hard and they follow instruction. And I know people kind of like to you see wrestlers pop off. We never ask how it happened. We just go, oh, cool. No, we start focusing on
Right.
that. So when I say I'm the only champion that hasn't done anything, that's a whole lie. It's just, you find work to fall around me, what's that, Man of Steel? If you seek his monument, look around you, for Man of Steel.
Yeah, I think that was the line. Yeah, that was the line.
That never Superman, the statue was destroyed, and someone went up here and spray painted. If you seek his mind and look around you, man, all the people I've trained in the past before I started this venture with New Texas and Houston Wrestling Academy at the Premier Arena, like those are before that. But this point forward, I mean, we got this incredible roster of guys in the show. The Watch the Throne. What was funny about the name of that show, Watch the Throne? I was like, minute that came up, I was like, because that throne is about to change. It's about to change guard. It's about to change guard. Those guys that we've had that were around for a long time, and they're no longer able to be around. And these guys stepped up and they freaking killed it. They freaking killed it. Like they don't got a mark on the face. And, and they upset. They shook it up. They shook up the world. They like it's insane. And we've been kind of like just kind of that show was so crazy. They all went out there and shined. There's people at their time in this business 2 years in that could not do what they did. And they did it not once, twice. They did it consistently. Every single match. Everyone went out there. I stepped my game up. I mean, it's high up, so I had to. But I even stepped my game up. I was like, bro, like they out here stepping up, I'm gonna step up too. Every single match across the board. I think the percentage was like 60-40 for people that were from out, like already experienced or from other places, and people that we put our hands on and grown ourselves. The proof is in the pudding. The success is there, and they're just taking the rest of the world by storm. And sorry I'm going on about this, but it's like emotionally it's a lot because it's undisputed. There's nobody that can jump in and be like, oh well, they were here first or whatever. No, nothing dumb. They started in the ground. And my thing is my legacy is like I stopped caring about in the headline WrestleMania 8 years ago when I started teaching people. When I started teaching people, when I was at Reality, like I fell in love with that. I fell in love with it, and they were my number one concern. They were my number one, like, just we got whatever, however I move has to be for them, and my work, like, honestly, I'm like, just Houston wrestling is different. you know, and I don't like to be all
Right.
like me about it, but like I challenge people to do better. I challenge people to do better. I challenge people to make things better around you. Don't just want it to just fall into your own hands. Like you just care about yourself. If we all rise together, we all rise together. And that was from 2015 on to now. To your question of what made it different. That's what made it different. It was a culmination of perfecting the formula for for developing talent. And am I 100% correct? No, probably not. There's there's plenty of room to grow in, and there's things that I want to do better for them. Like, damn, that the cake I put up the oven, it's a good cake. It's a good cake. Just a good cake. The 8 day, Justin Wynn, man, the Dream Team, King Bees. I mean, so
I
that's what made it
noticed
special,
like
man.
I noticed no, and I kind of got like a sense that finding really satisfaction in others is really what really drives you in the wrestling business,
Right.
and finding that satisfaction in others, and it helps out a lot because there are going to be many people in the wrestling business who want to main event WrestleMania,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like with what you're facing too, JJ, that finding service in others is just as helpful because look at where they're at now and
Yeah.
seeing where they're at and seeing where at their level, you had to catch up too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, what? Hold on. You can't be outworking seafood. All right. Hold on now. You know, but like that's the beauty of it. And like, you know, I forget how the phrase goes. I think it just basically goes, help somebody, help yourself. And it's like, if you help somebody else, you help yourself.
Correct.
You know, people were all teary eyed. I'm gonna call no names out. You know, a lot of teary eyed people after that show, and because we were just like, hey, it felt like we were literally in the ring doing what you guys were doing, and from the trainers, from Chieffer, like we all agreed with it. Like it felt that way, and you know, that's like I said, I treat their dreams at just they're sacred to me. They're sacred. Like I gotta carry it super carefully. You gotta pin the ground super carefully, and you know, being able to bring I can't stress because so many wrestling schools or wrestling promotions look different. You got the guys been around for a while. They travel around. You know, it's just a mixed bag. But I'm like, no, our guys did this. See, the thing is, this isn't a our guys kind of thing. I want this for everyone. So when people come from other places, I'm like, come on in, grab a seat, make yourself at home. I'm not over here like, if you coming in here like you knew Texas till the day you die. I'm not. There's none of that nonsense. I'm not trying to sit here like you got to pick an allegiance. It's none of that, man. I just want them to be better than I could ever be, not that I am. I'm in the parallel earth where man, I had a trainer like me, and I just powered through and was able to do it like what they're doing when they were doing it, but with the passion and the way my trajectory was. Because I've had some moments where, you know, for this stuff could have happened. I want these guys to be better than I could ever be. Every parallel earth me, every multiverse me. I need these guys to be great, and like that's all that matters. So when people come into our employ, I tell them, follow instruction, have a good attitude, and leave the rest up to us. That's it. That's all it comes down to. So it was a big moment. The Battle Awards was a big moment because like we brought the kids out there and they went and showed out. You know, they went and showed out. I know I talked about Boxer Throne, but like at Battle Awards as well, they went out there and they showed out. You know, and I'm just like, God dang, man, we got a whole army march behind us. Like, what is going on? It's like, and that was a week apart, I think. Yeah, that was a week apart. So like, yeah, I bashed it all together because they went out there and did that at Battle Awards, and then they came with these seconds. No, it was just like, all right, cool, I'll take it. So
that ending, oh my goodness. I did not expect the car crash to be that spectacular when that scrub happened. That's the most amazing thing I've seen in a live wrestling show. Fights started breaking out, and I'm like, this is wrestling. I love it. And that's kind of nice seeing like both promotions be where they're at. And I'm kind of glad like you had this insight. And I'm going to close up this conversation too and pitch this to someone who's never been in the wrestling. So pitch this to someone who's never had a day in the ring. And with New Texas, along with Houston Wrestling Academy, pitch to that non-experienced person who is going to be in that ring. What can you offer, and what can you convince to those students who are still trying to figure out that wrestling grind and learning things as they go along? So just, you have the floor on that point, and just pitch that away.
Well, I usually start out by simply, I ask, what do you want out of this? That's the first thing. I got to know what you want out of this before I can remotely begin to figure out what I'm going to give you. What do you want out of this? And I'm not going to answer yet, but I don't think I can get done. So when they tell me I just want to wrestle, easy. I want to travel around, easy. I want to go to WWE. I got a plan. I can make that happen. I want to travel the world. I know some people. After they tell me what they want. So you walk into my school, you walk in there, you look around, you sit down, I ask you that question, you give me your answer. And I say, look in the ring. They look in the ring. I say, you see those guys? Yeah. You see what they're doing? Yeah. They were you. They walked in here too. And we had a conversation just like this. What they're doing is what you can do if you want it. That's it. They have to believe. Yeah, they have to believe. And I wanted to know that it can be done, because I know there's a lot of people probably telling them it can't be done. I know there's people probably telling them that that's a stupid idea, that's dumb. I got some advice for that. I don't know if I can curse, so I'm not going to say it. It's a certain line from Bernie Mac. You say go for it? You say go for it?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. If someone says you can't do it, that just makes me go, bad. Please, let's do this. But whatnot. But just, yeah, it's, I want them to believe in themselves, because that's the most important thing. Your mind, your body, your spirit, they all have to be working together. And if they, when they walk in, when these people walk in, I make sure that they know that it's possible, because it is possible. If they're willing to do the work, if they're willing to commit, and if they listen, I will do my damnness. Like, I'm telling you, if I'm not sleeping, if I gotta take you to the grocery store and fill up your grocery cart with food, whatever I gotta do, I'm gonna make it happen. Because I just really believe in leaving this everything better than I found. It has to be done. Well, what have I done if it's not better than I found it? If I do the best I could, if I got everything I ever wanted, okay, but then it ends with me, and then that's it. So I just want to give back. I want to give back correctly, and I want to make sure that the people that are out here, that I'm not going to be doing the best for who they have in this school. I want to make sure that everyone knows it's a safe refuge. You come here. I don't care about the history. I don't care if you don't know anything, or if you do know things. It doesn't matter if you're a blank slate or you got a lot of writing on you. I'm going to do my best, and I'll make sure my team does our best to make sure that you get this thing. And that's all that matters. I'm not telling you to get rich off of this. This is my house. I got all the cool stuff in here. I'm cool. I'm not. Until just sitting down with you just now, I don't think I've ever actually verbally talked about the things I did in the darkness with my contributions to wrestling. This is the first time I've ever actually outlined, like, yeah, you know what? Just letting you know, I've done a lot since I've been here. I just be overt about it, because it's not about me. It's not about me.
Correct.
It's about lost these kids, go out there and tear it up and be better than I could ever be. So,
all right, awesome. So I have nothing left to give. You have the floor. Where can we find you if there's anything upcoming for this month?
Then we have the Clutch City Classic. I believe that's April 19th. and that's gonna be one to not miss. It's gonna be a Houston Premier Arena. All the promotions are pitting their not literal champion, but their selectee to represent the company. We're just all coming together. We're all coming together. Restoration Local, New Texas, PWF, Clutch City Classic is gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing. Yours truly will be there, so come check that out. And I mean, shoot, I'm training Monday through Thursday at Houston Premier Arena. That's where I'll be. That's the main event for me, baby. All right, that's the main event for me. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on, man. There's a lot of training, inspired, especially Classic PWF.
Yeah, thank you so much for having you on. And honestly, like I'm gonna end it on this too. Like honestly, like you've had so much in the business that we're seeing a lot of the results that's happening. And Battle Wars is an example, and seeing now with a lot of these guys, like that's honestly commendable to have, because like oftentimes like having the heart of service can take people places you never know. And you know, we got to see, you mentioned BK, you mentioned Roxanne, so like seeing that aspect, and that's what kind of like made me want to do this series, and seeing how these different guests that I have, and just making sure that, hey, you know, like you're contributing well to the business, and you're a part, and you're a huge part of that, whether it's in Houston or anything else. So like I really wanted to say thank you for that.
Thank you for thanking me. Oh no, seriously, I don't. It doesn't. You know, I ask people to keep my head down and go, and it's nice to you know, people to just remind me sometimes, because I do it. I'm just trying to do the right thing. It's a thing you do. Just do the right thing, and help as many people as you can. And I don't need to have a parade. I don't need to have kids shower at me or whatever. But when people go, oh, man, you're the man. Thank you so much. It means the world to me, because it just means it's just seen and whatnot. But I don't need that. But it feels good. So thank you for giving me those flowers.
And that was a conversation with JJ Blake. And you can follow him on X/Twitter and on Instagram at @JBlake. And you can follow New Texas Pro Wrestling on their social media platforms on the show notes. And they are such a great promotion in the Houston area. So please give them a follow. Come to their shows in the month of April, because they have a really great event on April 19th at the Clutch City Classic. And of course, I want to bring this up at the beginning of the episode. There were some technical issues on the first take that thankfully got resolved on the second take, and everything after that fell into place. So I wanted to share that just to be transparent with what's transpiring on the episode. And on next week's episode of Crash Course, we're bringing in another person from New Texas Pro Wrestling. And while they were promoting their upcoming match at the Clutch City Classic, things got a little heated, and you'll have to find out what that moment is. And you can follow this podcast on all our social platforms on X/Twitter, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, Spotify, and iHeartRadio at PGTK Pod. Leave a 5-star rating or review, or if you're on the YouTube side of things, like the video, comment, and if you are subscribed to this channel, click that notification bell so you won't miss an episode of this podcast. Send us an email at pgtkpod@gmail.com for any questions, comments, as well as if you want to be a guest on a future episode. And as always, thank you so much for listening. Be awesome with each other, and I will see you guys on the next episode of the PGTK Podcast, an interview podcast.